the e-learning portal, I have a short video to explain certain aspects of the Ghana Railway Company Limited network. I have taken the trouble to separate it from the other video so I can emphasize it appropriately, so that you would understand it, because with the previous classes, a few people had difficulties understanding what I meant by it when I was looking at the entire network and describing things. If you look at the Ghana Railway map carefully, I have mentioned already that it's in an A shape. The A shape, the right side of the A shape is the eastern corridor from Accra through Kotoku, Nsawam, Koforidua, Nkoko, Konongo to Kumasi. The western corridor begins at Sekondi through Kojokrom, Takwa, Huni Valley, Dunkwa, Onofen, Obuasi to Kumasi. And the central line begins from Kotogu through Kade, not Kade, through Fosu, Huni Valley, linking the western corridor. That constitutes the three main corridors of Ghana Railway Company Limited network. Besides these three corridors, the Ghana Railway network has four main branches. Four branches. The branches are not part of what I call the corridor, but they are on the lines. They link the corridors, but they are not part of the corridors. The first branch I would want to introduce to you is the Tema branch. If you look at the extreme right of it, you see a box mark and pointing to somewhere, and in the box there's Tema branch. And because you work in Tema and you attend GIF, probably you have seen the rail line at Bachona, Asoprochona, then it appears at Sakumono and crosses the beach road to the Tema railway station. In fact, that line begins from Achimota. So if you look at the map carefully, from Accra, the first station is Odor station. The second station from Accra Central is Achimota. And from Achimota, if you link what you see there as a line going to the right, you notice what I am trying to describe. It starts from Achimota and ends at Tema main station near the harbor. It goes through Bachona, it goes through Asoprochona, and it goes through what? Sakumono, before it comes to Tema. That is what we call a rail branch. And Ghana Railway Network has 4 of such branches. There is another branch on the central line. If you go from Kotoku towards Fosu, you come to there's a town there called Achiasi. Achiasi. I want you to take the trouble to look at it. That's why I'm going slow. From Kotoku on the eastern line, if you connect to that link on your left, that is westbound, you go through several small towns, Boom, Danso, several smaller towns, until you come to Achiasi, Kotoku. From Achiasi, Kotoku, if you go northbound, it takes you to Kade. So you see Kade is not on the central line, but Kade is on the branch from Achiasi to Kade. So that is what we call Achiasi Kotoku, or the Kade branch. and it begins at Achiasi Junction, and it goes upwards towards Kede. So that is the second branch on the Ghana Railway network. And this second branch is not necessarily the second, but to describe it, is the second branch that I am telling you about. And this branch is from Achiasi Junction to Kede. This is called a branch, and the name of the branch is Kade branch. Now, if we move to Tarkwa on the Western Link, go from Sekondi upwards towards Kumasi, and you come through Kudu Krum, and then you come to Tarkwa. At Tarkwa, you see there is another branch on the left that goes through Muniso, Akuntasi, and one more town before it gets to Prestia. The line from Tarkwa to Prestia is called Prestia branch. So that will be the third one. There is also another branch that begins from Dunkwa Onofin in the western corridor. As you go towards Kumasi, Dunkwa Onofin is on the western line. And on the left, you see a branch that goes towards Awaso, the bauxite mines. The rail line from Dunkwa Onofin to Awaso is called the Awaso branch. So please, from here on, I want you to note that the old Ghana Railway Company Limited national network had 4 branches: the Tema branch, the Kede branch, the Prestia branch, and Awaso branch. The Tema branch begins at Achimota and ends at Tema. The Kede branch begins at Achiasi Junction and ends at Kede. The Prestia branch begins at Tarkwa and ends at Prestia. And the Awaso line begins at Dunkwa Onofin and ends at Awaso. These lines were made for specific industrial purposes. The Tema line was made to link Tema, the port, to the other parts of the country. Kede had a malt factory and timber was quite common in the area, so that line provided a link to transport goods from Kede to meet the central line. Prestia used to be a big mining town, and it still is. And that line carried the goods from Prestia to the western line. Awaso is still a big mining site for bauxite, and the Awaso line helped us in carrying bauxite, raw bauxite, and manganese to Tarkwa and then all the way to Sekondi, where they were shipped. So that constitutes the 4 branches of the Ghana Railway Company Limited. Besides the branches, there were other lines that we call sidings. If you come to the Tema branch, you see that from Tema upwards to one point, it's just one dot, on Shy Hills, where there is a quarry, there is a line. That line is not part of the branch. It's called a siding. And there are, if you had gone to Tema Industrial Area, you would also find out that there are sidings from the Tema Railway Station to Tema Industrial Area. Those parts of the line are called sidings. There are other sidings also in Kumasi that link Kumasi Central Station to the industrial area in Atonsu, where there were timber companies sawing timber and doing other things that brought timber from those areas to Kumasi to link the others. Awaso also had sidings, and Prestia had, sidings as well. So that is sidings, which is different from branch, and a branch is different from what? The corridor, or what we call the main lines. Right. I hope I have made it clear the distinction between the corridors or main lines, the branches, and the sidings.